This is Fox Sports Radio, AM 1280 Rochester.
Hey, welcome, folks, to another edition of What's Going On, the weekend edition. I'm Nate Brown Jr. here in Rochester, New York on Fox Sports 1280 and iHeartMedia. And we got our man Greg Vaughn out of Las Vegas, and we got Ryan Verneuille down in the Hamptons, down in NYC. And gentlemen, it's No Kings Day. No kings. We don't need no kings. We need a president, not a king. So it's No Kings Day. Okay. It's No Kings Weekend. How about No Kings Month, damn it? Let's just extend it to No Kings Month, Ryan.
Let's make it no oligarchy.
I like that even better.
No oligarchy, no dictator decade. I like it all.
Right. Greg, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, fellas. Well, not too good. We lost to Louisville last night.
Well, you're always losing to Louisville. I don't know what. Look at.
No, I know.
I don't know what this narrative is.
I know.
You guys beat Louisville once in the last 10 seasons, I think, and it was last.
You know, it goes back to the Mets, like you said. The Mets against Baltimore. Baltimore can't beat anybody else, but they beat the Mets. You know,
no, but you're right. For some reason, Louisville got the U's number, and the U bring out Ray Lewis. They bring out your man. They bring out everybody. They bring you out, and then they roll everybody. They roll out Michael Irvin with the worst hairdo on the planet. Mike, fix the shit. Sorry, Mike, fix it. They roll out Mike, and I'm like, you guys ain't gonna beat Louisville. Just hang it up. Louisville got the U's number, Greggy. Can't hear you, Greg.
Right now they do.
But they be always beating y'all like by a lot, though. They don't be. It ain't no close games beating. They just be spanking.
Well, last night was by 3. He threw 4 picks last night, I think.
Right.
You know what I mean? You turn the ball over 4 times. Yeah, you're supposed to lose the game. You know, that was the Carson Beck of old last night. You know,
he had a flashback. He did have a flashback.
Yeah, he thought he was playing for Georgia last night. You know what I mean? He saw the red. He saw the crimson or the red. You know what I mean? He thought he was little problems over there. Thought he was playing. Georgia was playing Alabama or something. I don't know what happened.
So Ryan,
and he blamed his tight end too to top it off.
That's like your boy Tua. Man, nobody want to come to the meetings. I schedule a meeting and don't nobody want to show up. Tua, I think you need to share that with your teammates and not the rest of the media. We don't need to know you guys are dysfunctional. We can tell by the way you play in the field. But you don't need to say that out, the quiet part out loud, Tua. We know it. You guys stink. It's like the U are probably better than Miami. Greg, you like that one. Okay. Give me the U over the Dolphins.
You know what? Sports is finicky. It's crazy, man. It all starts at the top. You know, where if you have stability at the top, somehow it works its way down, you know, down the line, whether you're in corporate America or, you know, you're playing a sport, you know, like you just said, Nate, you know, we talked about this last week. Certain things do not hit the press, you know, like when we were talking about, you know, with Boone, you know what I mean? Whatever's, you know, going on with the Yankees is going to go on with the Yankees inside these walls, right? Once they get outside these walls, I mean, you pretty much lost respect. I mean, everyone's lost respect. So, with that being said, the Dolphins are the Dolphins, and hopefully the U can rebound next week, and we can just move on.
Greg, I'm going to go to you
We
first.
got that one loss out of the way.
Ryan, you got to chime in on this. Greg, because you're the ball player. Is Shohei like the real deal Holyfield? Three home runs, 10 strikeouts. And prior to this, Ryan, everybody was saying, what's wrong with Shohei? He's not playing. He's not hitting. But Greg, you're like the little dude in my mind goes, you chill out. It's baseball, dude. And Greg, what happened?
It's baseball. You know, we were talking about it last week.
It's okay. It's baseball, right?
It's baseball, but you know, they get you, then all of a sudden you get them. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. It's you just got to keep grinding, man. You know, But that's the thing about being a player and being a fan. You know what I mean? It's different. A fan lives and dies with every at bat. Every at bat is death for a fan. Every time, I remember Soto wasn't getting a hit. You're out, Soto out of here. When Judge on it, Judge went through a little. Oh, Judge is not the man anymore. And then when they start hitting and they start doing their thing, oh, I know he's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Look at Ryan's face.
The player is the guy that is, hey, he's going to do his thing. He is Shohei. He is Judge. He is Soto. They're going to do what they do. They've done their whole life. You know what I mean? But for us to see it in a two-way player as dominant as it was last night, yeah, that's probably one of the best. You won't see that ever again. You know what I mean? So that's something that if you got a chance to witness it, you won't see a guy strike out 10. You used to hear that about Babe Ruth, right? We used to hear about those things about Babe Ruth. Now this is our Babe Ruth. Shohei is our Babe Ruth. I'm going to tell you,
the closest person to Shohei back in the day for me was Bob Gibson. Okay, so if and I'm not saying, Bob would strike out 12, 13, and I'm not saying hitting 3 home runs, but he was good at the plate. So for me, the closest thing in baseball, Ryan, when I watched last night, dominating the pitching aspect, especially, was Bob Gibson. He would do that, and he would come up and he would get some hits, but he wasn't Shohei Ohtani kind of hits, Ryan.
I never got to see Bob Gibson, but according to baseball history, it's just never been done. And Greg, you mentioned Ruth. Ruth, the pitcher, wasn't hitting the way he was. He could hit, but Boston wasn't utilizing him that way. So for a guy to go out there and get 10 strikeouts and 6 scoreless innings and hit 3 home runs, it's just simply never been done. And I don't think it's ever going to be done again.
That's what I said. We witnessed history last night. Once in a lifetime type of thing, right? He is that guy. He is the GOAT. There's no one that can say. Yeah, it's him. And you know what? And he went through all the, like you said, this postseason before last night. What was he hitting? 137, right? With no RBIs, 137, right? And but that what got him going was that trip that when you can get like a CNI hit, as we used to call him. You know what I mean? Maybe not square it up, and the night before when he hit the triple, that's what got him going. You know what I mean? And now they brought in lefties. Now everyone's in trouble because he's staying on left-handed pitching like there's no.
And his sinker, Greggy, is sick. I'm like, can you? It's like it goes in and it just goes and it just drops.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So that being said, that sequence might have been the best sequence I've ever watched in baseball. For him to strike out the side and then come out in the first inning to open up the game with a home run. I mean, we're like you said, we've never seen anything like this. We will never see anything like this again. Now, here's my question for you, Greg. If you had to take a pick, if you had one pick in the draft for the first overall pick, would you take a prime Barry Bonds or a prime Shohei Ohtani?
Oh, you put me on the spot because Barry was baddest man on the planet.
But Barry can't pitch.
With that being said, I'm taking Shohei. I get 2 players in one player.
2 for 1.
I get 2 for 1.
2 for 1. That's like a no-brainer. Why are you trying to set Greg up, Ryan?
You don't. Well, I mean, look, I get it. I get he's that dominant. But Bonds' career stretched out for how long? I mean, and he hit that. I mean, Bonds was a better hitter than Shohei Ohtani. Even though you see like that second home run that Shohei hit, that was almost a Bonds home run to me. They weren't even throwing the guy strikes. That was an inside pitch, like could have hit him, right? Dude, he just steps back and swings it like a samurai sword. Think about
the best player on your team, and Greg knows this. It usually is the pitcher. I mean, even though they don't let them hit no more like they did back in our day, right, Greg? Pitchers usually would like.
Okay, wait. You
said the best. No, I didn't say. I said usually. I said usually. On some teams, the best players are the pitchers, but they don't let pitchers go two-way. Like they don't do that no more. Is what I'm saying to you. So you don't get the guy who could pitch and strike you out and still hit. That's why Deion Sanders was an anomaly. I think that's why Bo Jackson was like an anomaly. Those guys could go back and forth and still perform at a high level. Greg, that's all I'm saying.
No, don't forget Brian Mahomes.
And Brian, come on, of course. BJ was nasty.
BJ, BJ was the man. So I think with that being said, you get 2 for 1 in Shohei because he can dominate the game 2 ways. And it's hard to do. We've never seen it done in our lifetime. We've never seen anyone dominate it 2 ways. He can dominate it at the plate. We've seen that with Barry, right? We've seen someone dominate it at the plate, but we have never seen someone dominate it at the plate and on the mound. So I think this is we're witnessing history, right? We're witnessing the GOAT. We're witnessing, being a little kid and being being a baseball, historian, going back and reading and talking about the Negro Leagues. And this is the type of players we were talking about. This is what we were reading when they were talking about the Negro Leagues, right? So to be able to see it and witness it in real time, we're talking about AI, we're talking about all this other stuff, technology, and this is an AI. This is real life, real time.
Hey, we're gonna take a quick break.
With that being said, you know what?
Greg, we're gonna take a quick break because I don't want us to go over. We're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna see if Seattle or Toronto even has a chance. Because the way the Dodgers going, they 4-4. They just sweeping you under the rug, Ryan.
Not looking good.
We'll be right back. Fox Sports 1280, iHeartMedia. Don't go no place. Hey, folks, we are back, and this is Fox Sports. What's going on? The experience here on iHeartMedia, and I'm Nate Brown Jr. And are you noticing changes in your thinking, your reasoning, and your memory skills? Are you living with an Alzheimer's or related dementia diagnosis? Are you providing care to someone living with dementia? Well, you know what? The Alzheimer's Association can help. They got a 24-hour hotline. The number is 800-272-3900. Call for reliable information and support. ALZ, Rochester and Finger Lakes Regional Chapter. End Alzheimer's today. Bryant, Toronto, Seattle, Greg, do they have a chance? Or we're going to go Moses Malone, 4-4-4, Ryan? We're going to do the 4-4-4 thing or what? What's up?
I mean, but yeah. So before we even get into Toronto, Seattle, we have to just talk about the excellence of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And it's not just Shohei Yamamoto, Admiral Yamamoto, as I call him. That complete game was a damn gem. And one more key stat from the NLCS that I think that has gone down in history already. The lowest team batting average in the history of the MLB postseason is now held by the Milwaukee Brewers. They hit 118 in this last series. So, yeah, not only are we looking at absolute dominance and a lineup of the ages, guys, like we're not even at the World Series yet, and I'm already thinking that we might see a 3-peat, a 4-peat, something that's never been done. Not just history with Shohei that we've never seen before, but with this Dodgers team. So I got to ask you this, Greg, because you played in the era you faced arguably the greatest team of all time in the 98 Yankees. Do you see that same greatness in this Los Angeles Dodgers, and can you make these comparisons?
I think so. I think, the Dodgers are built for this, just like the Yankees were. You know what I mean? It's even when the Dodgers weren't scoring 6 and 7 runs, right? They still found a way to win a 2-1 ball game. You know what I mean? Or 3-2. It goes back to like, any championship. I know we're in the era where it's points, yards, 5 receivers, throw the ball down the field. Defense wins championships, man. And it all starts in baseball with pitching. If I have to score, I got a chance to play behind some good pitchers, throughout my career. When you have to go out and just maybe score one run and you got a chance to win. Oh, yeah. We watched the Braves do it, 14 years in a row, win the National League, with that ERA. It's unbelievable what good pitching can do. But, the Dodgers, like I said, man, once again, you stated this in the beginning. It starts at the top. Dave Roberts knows what he's doing. He's been on championship teams. He's been on the field. He knows how to understand and relate to players. And, he's built his staff that also know how to understand and relate to players. And I think that's a big key. When you can go to your coach and your coach has your back and he's not throwing you under the bus and he's not, all these things aren't coming out, in the paper. You look at the good teams, they have great players. Don't get it twisted. But Blake Snell's doing what he's always done, but he's not done it at this level, at this time of year, right? What he could have stayed, he could have had a complete game. He only gave up one hit. So I'm just saying that right now, I would say the Dodgers are the closest thing to the Yankees because, we'll see. Can they win 2 in a row, 3 in a row, 4 in a row? We'll see what happens. But but right now, they're heading that direction.
I mean, on paper, they kind of look like the better team. And you look at that 98 Yankees lineup, there were some all-time greats, but there wasn't a Shohei Ohtani. There wasn't even a guy that could hit as good as Freddie Freeman, in
Well,
my opinion.
what, when we lost to them in '98, it was Rick Day and Scott Brocious. That's who beat us. We held the big dogs down. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It was Rick Day and Scott Brocious went out there and they played out of their mind, and they, not that they weren't good players, because much respect to both of them, they did what they had to do, and that's basically who beat us. During that World Series bid for me. So it's just getting it done at the right time. Look at the second baseman for the Dodgers, Tommy Elman. He doesn't. I mean, he doesn't get enough respect for how good of a player he is. He can play shortstop, he can play second, he can play center field, and he's a switch hitter. And what did he do the day before? Got him the big hit, right? So this is all he does. They put players in positions to give them success. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and like I said, it just works out for him. And, it's they're getting everybody back at the right time too. I mean, guys are coming back. The Dodgers do this every year. It's like a hockey team. Where they put guys on the injured list, and all of a sudden they bring them back at the playoffs. It looks like two different teams, right? So, it goes back to like what Phil Jackson used to say. I don't care about the regular season. We're built to win championships. We have to go on the road or not on the road. We're built to win championships.
So if you're any of these small market teams, like the Brewers did the right thing. They did everything they could have. The GM, right, we're always knocking Cashman. I'm always knocking Cashman. I was like, he did everything he could with the money that he was given by that owner. So what do you even do at this point? If you're, say, the GM of the Brewers and you got that far only to get swept in such a dominant fashion, like what moves can you possibly make to even stop LA at this point?
Well, you got to remember too, you got to keep playing the games. I mean, part of being a competitor is that challenge, right? So every year you think you're going to win that championship when you get to spring training. You think you're going to get that chip. And as a general manager or as an organization, we don't have the means that, the Dodgers, the Yankees, Boston, we don't San Francisco, we don't have those types of means, right? So we have to scout well, we can't miss, and we have to develop from within, right? So we can't, the farm system, we can't miss on guys, when it comes to drafting, because it sets us too far back.
And we
So
can't
have to
squander
draft well.
money too.
Yeah, we have to draft well. We have to get players that fit our, what we're trying to do, fit our name on the front. Do they play hard? Are a good clubhouse guy? We want to bring, first-rate people into our organization. But like I said, the main thing is you can't miss on your draft picks. You have to get 9 more Jackson Churros. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that kid can play. And he's the only one
that's just saying
I
that
don't
out
even
loud.
think-
It's like it's
it's-
such a hit or miss. And then when you got a guy like Skubal, now to take it to the American League, we've got Tyreek Skubal about to maybe get traded, because it doesn't look like the Tigers and Skubal don't seem to be coming
On
to
the same
a
page.
resolution here. So you get guys like this. Do you trade for more? Do you trade them away to rebuild the farm, like you said, and get all those types of guys, or do you break the bank and pull an LA and just spend the money?
Well, but when you spend the money, you got to make sure you can win. So I think with Skubal, I think Detroit's going to find a way to keep him. There's going to be, he's going to be upwards of $800 million. If not, you think about it. He grew up, and I mean, he played college ball 10 miles from Safeco Field, where the Mariners play, and the Mariners missed on him. And he went in the 3rd, 12th, 11th, 12th
Mhm.
round. And so, like I said, he was in their backyard and they missed on him. I think the ideal situation would probably be he'd be pitching for the Mariners next year. You know what I mean? If they'd be trying to work out a trade. And
Yeah, but the Mariners might not have the money. See, this
oh
what
yeah,
Ryan-
yeah. Their money's coming from over across that pond over there in
Okay.
Japan. Yeah,
Okay,
they got the means.
So it goes back to, but once again, Do you want to be a big time star in a small time market? I'm just saying, no disrespect to Seattle, brother, and the Mariners, but it ain't the Mets or the Yankees or the Dodgers, or even Chicago for that matter. I'm just saying. I mean, do you want to be someplace that's going to be, or like you said too, Greg, you could be in Seattle, but then you get your other money in other means. You know what I mean?
Oh
You
yeah,
get it in other means.
well, I think with the day and age of social media,
Right.
all this type of stuff, I think you can be a star anywhere now.
Okay.
It's not like when I played. You can be a star anywhere, and like, I mean, he's making his money. I don't know how much. I mean, we can say Detroit is known for football and basketball back in the day, but Scuba, I mean, he's making a name for himself on mediocre teams already. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's been that guy. He's that dominant, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if Randy Johnson can play in Seattle, if Ken Griffey Jr. can play basically his whole career in Seattle and be a star and be a face of not just the team but the
But the
league,
Major League Baseball, yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
I think Scooble, I think he can also.
Hey Ryan, we got to take another quick break because we don't want to mess up stuff. When we come back, can we talk a little bit more about Toronto and what you think they're going to be able to do
Oh
next
yeah.
year?
I mean,
Okay,
I feel bad. I don't want to give my hapless predictions here, but yeah. I
you're
mean,
gonna
we
have
are
to do it,
witnessing
man.
Vlad.
You're gonna have to give your hapless predictions, even if it looks dismal. We're taking a quick break. This what's going on in the experience. Fox Sports 1280, and remember, Ryan, we got nominated for 6 Spin Awards. I can't wrap my head around this, man.
6 awards now.
Yes, I'm in Atlanta next
Unbelievable.
week.
We
I'm in
better win
Atlanta.
at least 3 of these things.
So, I ain't even gonna tell you if I come
We're
back
gonna even give
empty-handed.
6 awards to us
Listen,
4. With each of us
listen
having
to
an
this.
award coming, that's great.
If I don't come back empty-handed, I'm gonna get some trophies at Staples. I'm just saying.
We're gonna give them the spin.
Okay, okay, okay. We'll be
They don't
right
give us
back.
that award.
Hey, folks, we are back, and we were just thinking about off mic. When's the NBA season start? It's gonna be starting very, very soon. Before we get to NBA, man, we still got to figure out what's going on with the little baseball and what's happening with some football. So before we left, Ryan gave us a little tease because I really want to know what Toronto is going to do because if they don't win, will they? Will anybody have a damn chance against the Dodgers, Ryan? Let's just say it like that, Ryan. Does
Well,
anybody got a chance against the Dodgers?
I will say no. But if we are gonna see some
Hey,
type of
thanks,
an
Ryan.
upset, I would think that it's gonna be at the hands of Vladdy and a high-powered, surging Toronto offense. If they can just get the bats going and win in a dominant fashion, it seems like when Toronto wins, they really win. So if they can somehow win the next 2 games, which is going to be tough. We just saw Seattle. It was a grand slam that really put them over the top. Suarez with a beautiful grand slam. But if there is a chance for one of these 2 teams, I'm going to have to go with Toronto and stick to my last week predictions. Vladdy is just on fire. I love seeing people are hating on Vlad, calling him thuggish. Thug out, Vladdy. And it's coming from a Yankees fan. Keep doing your thing, man.
What do you think, Greggy?
Dear God, I think he's playing the game just like his dad did. He plays with a lot of freaking passion, a lot of heart. It cares. It's important to him. Why is it thug out when it comes to Vlad, right? And when it's somebody
Yeah.
else, it's hard nosed baseball. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't get that. You know what? He's just doing what he does. He's a little bit more, outgoing than his father was. But they're 2 different people. But the man he's the man, and he's rising to the occasion. The big moment doesn't scare him. You look at his numbers in Yankees. You look at all the big cities and the big, where the big markets are. He's a Hall of Famer there. You know what I mean? I think he's hitting 500 in Yankee Stadium, 400 in Boston. I think, you know what I mean? It's crazy. So the moment doesn't scare him, and they're doing this without Bichette also. A key
Without
factor.
Dante, but yes.
Yeah, his son Bo, without Bo
I mean,
Bichette.
Bo, I'm sorry, Bo Bichette, yes.
Yeah, so it's if they had them, it might look different because I think as far as runners in scoring position, I think Bo led the whole league in Major League Baseball with hitting with runners in scoring position. It's gonna be a tough task for anybody, but like I said, man, maybe it's me not being a realist, but being a competitor, you have to think you have a chance. You have to
Okay.
believe you can win.
Okay, so
You,
well, speaking of people you can win now, what they did the other night, they did to my man Springer. I don't like that. Hit him in his damn knee or something in his leg, and I don't know if he can come back, Ryan, because they jacked him up, dude. I was watching that game, and my man, he like hit him right in the shin bone. And you know about that, Greg. You hit by a fastball in your knee, and he tried to walk down the first base and like, nah, boy, get in the dugout. So what's that gonna do to them, man? Because that's one I like me some George Springer, Ryan. I like his game.
I mean, he's a necessary player if they're going to win. I mean, the guy's one of the best leadoff hitters, and he probably is the best leadoff hitter in baseball. Him or Altuve, I guess, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a massive and major loss. But I think, once again, it's really going to depend on the bats on both sides. Like, we've got all-time great hitters on both teams. And one more thing about Vladdy here. Could he be the greatest Canadian baseball player of all time? He was born when Vlad Sr. was playing with the Expos, right?
Yeah.
So he's like really Canada's son. To me, I mean, Vladdy is just making some serious Canadian history, man. And I'm sure Montreal fans, are you pissed if you're an Expos fan? To see somebody that should have been born into that franchise then go to Toronto? Is there a heated rivalry between the Blue Jays and the Expos, Greg? I was too young to remember.
No, I think everybody that's born in Canada right now is pulling for.
They just love Canadians.
They're pulling for they're pulling for their, for their Blue Jays. And yeah, we're giving his flowers, but we can't forget my man Larry Walker as being the greatest Canadian of all time.
Yeah.
Greatest Canadian of all time, Larry Walker,
and was the star of the Expos. That's right. How did I forget that?
And the Rockies. I mean, so Vlad he's well on his way. You know what I mean? Him and his daddy gonna be in the Hall of Fame if he keeps this up. So, like I said, it should be fun. But first things first, they got to get through this next game.
They got to get past them guys, man.
Yeah, if not, they're gonna be going fishing too. You know what I mean? They're gonna be
with
back
the Mets and the Yankees.
Oh yeah, they've been on. They halfway around the world right now. The Mets, they halfway around the world. It started like a month ago.
See, you have to be a tough New York fan, especially when we get stuff handed to us. I'm okay with that. Because but
you know what? You get because you give it out so much. It has to. It feels good to give it back.
It's okay though.
You guys give it out.
We can
Y'all
take
dish it out.
We can
dish it out.
Ryan, tell him we can take it. Speaking of taking it, right? Speaking of taking it, okay. Everybody was on the Aaron Rodgers soul train. Oh, Aaron Rodgers. So the greatest game I saw last week, Greg, was the OG Bowl. Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh versus my man Joe Flacco with Cincinnati. And they didn't give Cincinnati a snowball chance in hell. Every pundit had Pittsburgh winning. I said, whenever y'all do that, and then you gotta take into account my man the coach's Thursday night winnings, because he don't win on Thursday night. He just don't the Pittsburgh Steelers do not win on Thursday night football. Mike Tomlin might be like 0-90 on Thursday night football. Yeah. And like I said, they was giving him too much props too soon. Because Joe Flacco, remember, he does have a Super Bowl, 1 or 2, right? Greg, what do you got? 1 Super Bowl, 2?
He got 1.
Flacco ain't no bum, right?
Flacco's got a Super Bowl.
No, what's the number one thing Flacco does? Get the ball downfield. And now they just put him with he got some horses now, so he can get the ball down the field and those guys can make plays. I mean, your boy, and he's smart. I mean, you have a Chase. Why not target him 16 times? Why you throw the ball to somebody else? I'm throwing the ball to Jamar Chase. And now when they start to slide coverage, T. Higgins. I mean, you pick your poison, right? So, he does what Joe Flacco can do. He's still in the league. He's running the offense. Everyone says, "Oh, they should have kept him in Cleveland." Cleveland didn't have the same type of horsepower that
they don't. They couldn't use him the way. You're right. And Ryan, not only that, man, is like, even though your man Joe Burrows is back, I think Flacco is such a stable kind of guy. And like you said, Greg, he just knows how to put the ball down the field. Man, he don't hold it too long, Ryan, and none of that nonsense. It's out in 2 seconds, man.
And it's not too late to learn more. If you're Joe Burrow, to sit and learn behind Joe Flacco while you're hurt, why not? It's such a great move by the Bengals. And Jamar Chase setting the franchise record for the Bengals with 16 receptions. Those were thrown by Flacco, not Burrow.
Yeah.
So very impressive. The Unk Bowl. Or the OG Bowl, as you know.
I call it the OG Bowl. But speaking of the OG Bowl, Right. Right. And I said this before we get to basketball. They got rid of Bill Franklin at Penn State, Greg. Why can't Penn State just get out of their way? What is up with Happy, non-Happy Valley? I don't get them, Greggy.
Well, I think for me, like I said, I'm not a football expert. I'm a fan. I think I know sports. Go draft a quarterback. Don't draft a linebacker that plays quarterback. You know what I mean? Or a tight end that plays quarterback. Draft a quarterback. First of all, if you're a quarterback, you got to be able to throw the ball. This guy, I don't think they draft quarterbacks that that fall for 3 or 4 yards, right? Get a James Franklin. I think he hasn't won. I mean, he's on his way out with $45 million of guaranteed money
in his
but
pocket.
yeah, but still, you have to be able to win. And I think it's part of his. We're what a month ago we're talking about them competing for the national championship. Now
Yep.
they're without a coach and they're losing to second-rate teams. So I think, with that being said, if you in that great state of PA, you've got to be able to find a quarterback.
You get, I'm
You know,
just,
you,
dude.
you got
I
you
don't
got
want.
Jim, you got Jim Kelly, you got Moreno,
Man,
Dan
you
Moreno.
got Joe Namath. Do I need them? Joe Montana. Do I need to name the people that came out
But
of
but but
out
but
of
but, but, but,
Pennsylvania?
but, but that's what I'm saying. Get a quarterback. Why were you going to get a guy that's 6'5" and can go play middle linebacker? The next series, get a quarterback.
Yeah, yeah. I
You,
think
you
I,
know,
I think you're right with that. So we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna break down the upcoming NBA season. Greg, your boy Westbrook finally found a home. Journeyman Westbrook, Derek Schroeder, they're gonna all be posting up in Sacramento. If y'all
Thank you
want.
for that. Hey, thank you, thank you.
So Ryan, the Knicks look pretty damn good. That's all I gotta say. Sorry about
Oh
this.
shit!
Gotta find a
Here
new
we go.
point
Here we
guard, a
go.
new backup.
Here we go. Now he's off the Jets. He's off the Mets, and now the Knicks.
And now the Knicks. We'll be right back. Fox Sports 12, baby. Hey, folks, welcome back to our final segment of What's Going On in the Experience here on Fox Sports 1280 and iHeart Media. And we just was going through the barrage of conversations and topics. And then Greg just shut me down by saying, hey, man, the Mets are gone. The Jets is stink. You don't know about the Giants. You're not a Yankee fan, so now you got to hold your hat on the Knicks. And so I said to him, I won't be critical on the Knicks, Ryan, till after All-Star break. So I want y'all to record that and let that be known. And I was also against the Giannis trade. I was against the Giannis trade. And the reason, Greg, is because you don't give up OG, you don't give up Mikal Bridges, you don't give up Josh Hart and a bunch of draft choices to get. You don't do that. You will decimate the squad, bro. So I think the Knicks, Ryan, should stay the course for the time being. What do you think, bro?
I don't. I think that it's time to trade for Antetokounmpo. I know this is the Knicks window. I know how far they got last year,
Yep.
and I know I'm gonna sound like a hater, but my man Zesty Carl, I just don't know if I would put a whole team on his shoulders and expect him to win an NBA Finals. I think if you can trade Karl Anthony Towns for Giannis, you do it in a second. Call
But
me a
no, but
hater.
if it's 1-on-1, but they want Carl, they want the Knicks down front line. Ain't nobody
Do it.
doing. Greg,
Do it.
I'm going to you, Greg. Who's gonna give up your old front line for one guy and draft choices, Greg? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean that's their heart and soul. That's basically the 4 out of 5 starters. 3 out of 5 they want, and then they want 2 of their backups. Plus they want to take the next 4 years of your pick. I mean, next 4 years first round picks. Yeah, I'm not doing that either. So with that being said, maybe 5 years ago I might do it, but not now. I mean, Giannis is he going to learn to play a different style of basketball? You have right now the Knicks are playing team basketball, which is nice to watch, right?
Isn't it
But
nice
they
to
lean on
watch, Greg?
they lean on the big dogs. But like you said, if I could get Towns and maybe a couple draft picks without giving up the rest of it, oh yeah, without a doubt. But if I have to give away my heart and soul, Bridges, one of an OG. No, I don't know if I do that.
I ain't giving you OG. I'm just not giving you OG and Bridges, and I'm not. And he wanted Hart. They wanted Josh Hart, and they wanted Mikal. So they wanted like 4 people for Giannis. I'm like, dude, no.
No. Three of your starters, and you got to
3.
remember, if the Knicks would have just kept Hartenstein, we wouldn't even be talking about this right now. You know what I
That
mean?
is true. No,
True.
that dude, no, that because they didn't. 2 things happened. I don't think it's not that they didn't want to pay him, but he had got better offers from other squads, right? And something was going on with the salary cap between him and your man Mitchell Robinson. They couldn't keep both of them. That much I do know. They couldn't keep both, so they relied on they thought homeboy had more defensive prowess, which is Mitchell Robinson, than Josh. But I would have found a way to keep them both personally, but they couldn't do it.
I think we might be talking about a chip if they would have kept Hartenstein for you guys. You know what I mean? Because he's that type of difference maker, and he doesn't have to put up 20 every day, but the little things that he does, setting screens, making the buckets he's supposed to make, and shutting down their guys. You know what I mean? So being a presence. So that being said, Nate, I finally agree with you on something that.
Oh, gee, thanks.
I would
took a couple of seasons. Took a couple of seasons.
I don't think right now at this point of Giannis's career, still dominant because, I mean, he'd basically be doing the same thing in New York. He would have, he'd have the point guard and he would have Towns. But is that enough to win a championship in the NBA?
No.
You got to have supporting cast.
But speaking of supporting cast, I want to switch right quick, Ryan, and get your – because ain't nobody talking about these guys right now. And it's the Dallas Mavericks. Okay. Because I know, Ryan, you're like a Mavericks fan. And I had a chance to watch, what's that boy name? Cooper, what that boy name?
Cooper Flag.
What? Greg, the boy's legit. Now, should he be starting as a point guard? I don't know about that yet. But I know 2 teams in the West that's going to give OKC a run for their money, and that's the Houston freaking, hey, man, Houston front, their whole squad is 7 feet. The starting 5 is 7 feet. Everybody, 6'9", 6'10". So they're going to give the Thunder a run for their money. What you think, Greg? I think Houston going to give them a run for their money.
I think Houston's going to be better. I think Dallas is going to be better because Dallas is they're big, and then with Kyrie
and they long.
Yeah. So like I said, I think this is the day of the basketball of the wings. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If you have some wings, and Indiana, they prove that. But the 2 guys they bring, Tompkins and the other guy they bring off the bench. I mean, it's crazy. These guys come off the bench that are 7 foot, 6'11", and run and make an impact like they do. So, basketball has changed from it was heavy for the guards. Remember after Golden State went. Evidently we didn't get the memo in Sacramento because we have like 7 6-foot guards. You know what I mean? So we're still trying to play that type of basketball.
And then you got rid of Halliburton. And y'all did some Knicks moves. I'm like, why are y'all getting rid of Halliburton? It's like,
well, at the time, no, we have Fox. So I mean, you pick your poison. You didn't know, but to get rid of both of them,
yeah.
And now we have 6. Guys that are under 6'5", on taking up 12 spots on the roster. We have 6 guys that are under 6'4", 6'5". I mean, what type of basketball are you gonna win with that? You're not. You know what I mean? You're not gonna win, unfortunately. But hey, hopefully, you're 26, salary cap space. We could do something. And we're playing with Keegan Murray.
I like his game, dude. I really do like his game.
But it's time for him to do what he does too. He needs to be dominant. I mean, he's too unselfish. And he's
right. He defers a lot.
Yeah. And he's going to start out. He's hurt, so he's going to miss probably the first month of the season. Like I said, man, it's going to be like going to the Y, man, like that 6 foot and under league during the summer. You know what I mean? We're going to be at Rutgers Park playing 6 foot and under.
I hate to encourage tanking, but I feel like the Kings are just at that place where, not to, put them through the process, for lack of better terminology, but you need a superstar. You need a real superstar to
Well, we traded
dominate in the
Fox. We
NBA.
traded Halliburton. Sabonis needs some help because this man, I mean, do you just, what we talked about? How are all the other teams going to keep up with the Dodgers? That's what Sacramento needs to draft better, develop better. You're in a small market. You're not going to lower a lot of big free agents. And don't panic and quit making stupid moves. Give people time to develop.
Yeah.
I even trading De'Aaron Fox, terrible move. Right? I mean, it's good, great move at the Spurs.
And Greg, just to let you know, the Sacramento Kings did start out in Rochester. Just to let you know. They were the Rochester Royals.
Yep.
Okay.
Shoot.
So I got love for Sacramento, believe it or not. I really do. Because like I said, they started out here in Rochester, and they ended up in Sacramento. And I just think that a lot of these owners just want to get paid. They don't really care about putting no competitive team.
Well, I don't think it's ours. Ours is trying to get paid. I think ours is trying to be Jerry Jones of basketball. He's paying 4 or 5 coaches right now. He gets rid of players instead of just deferring to let the basketball guys be basketball guys.
Right.
And right now, your boy that left the Knicks is back with Sacramento. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place right now until he's able to put his fingers on it. I mean, basically, we are the Sacramento Bulls. You know what I mean? We got with Levine and DeRozan and Sabonis. We're the Bulls. So we
the Bulls on the West Coast.
We're the Sacramento Bulls. So until I mean, you got Levine making 64, DeMar making 50. I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, once again, it's unless they can shock the hell out of me and everybody else, we'll see what happens.
They did get a lot of picks. I said it was a terrible trade. Like you said, they built the Chicago Kings or the Sacramento Bulls. To put Levine out there with DeMar DeRozan, maybe if it was like 8 years ago, great. But they did get a handful of first-round picks, which will maybe in a few years pay off. They've got a Spurs pick. Then again, as I look at these teams, they're all pretty good. Like, yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
But
Greg.
we haven't even talked about those 3 Texas teams that are just ridiculously tight to me.
The Spurs are going to be fire.
The Spurs is on fire. You got Dallas, you got Houston. So don't be surprised if all 3 of them in the playoffs and 2 of them end up playing, I guess, one of them. Because all I know is this: I just don't want the Lakers to win.
Is going to be crazy.
I don't want the Lakers to win anything. I don't care.
The Southwest region is crazy because then you take a short bus ride to Oklahoma City and you got that team. You know what I mean? So the Southwest region is fire for hoops right now, and I don't think we'll see what Aiden can do as far as helping the Lakers, but
the Lakers ain't going no place.
That's what they say about the Knicks. So you know what I mean?
That's okay because when the smoke clears, we could be playing one of them Southwest teams for the championship. That's all I know.
The Knicks might make the finals
for the chip.
Like they might make the finals, but I just don't see them getting past the top 4 West Coast teams that are out there.
Okay.
I mean, between the Nuggets, the Thunder, Dallas, even Dallas is looking pretty stacked right now.
San Antonio.
Yeah.
It's okay. The Knicks, listen, my man told the Knicks, Mike Brown said, I need y'all to shoot 33s plus a game because only you can make them. The other night, they shot 39 and they made 18 out of 39 or 20. So listen, he got a formula. It ain't just 3 points, but he got a bench. And if you got a bench and you're not afraid to put it up, we're going to do a little something. I know you're hating. That's okay. It's all right. I grew up in the boogie down. Hated me all my life. Went to all boys high school. Didn't like Clinton. It's okay. I'm used to being the bad guy. Matter of fact, I got my black hat on now. But I'm okay. I'm okay, gentlemen.
And everybody that is listening out there, know that you can bother us all week long as we wrap up this morning broadcast. We're online at Fox Sports Radio, WGO.com. And, of course, What's Going On Sports. across the boards on all social media platforms. Greg Vaughn 23, Nate Brown Jr., Fox Sports Radio, and of course the Ryan Show. Gotta follow us,
Hey,
folks.
you gotta do your dizzle. And hopefully I'll come back with some hardware. I don't know. But until next week, in between time, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna do our dizzle. Greg, man, I love that UNLV shirt, running Rebels. Stacey Augman. That's all I gotta say is Stacey Augman, running Rebels.
I see him at the football games. You know what's crazy is they got a chance to go 6-0 today against Boise State. So 12:30 West Coast time. Let's go.
Okay.
UNLV.
Let's do it. Hey Ryan, take us out of here, man.
Hey, that's it, folks. We'll see you next week. Be sure to follow us online, Fox Sports Radio, WGO.com. And of course, like always, go Yankees. There's always next year, folks. We got this.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
They're halfway around the world, man. They halfway around the world.
Meet us in Cancun, baby. Let's go.
They somewhere on SpaceX somewhere.
Later, folks.